Here are the Beatles!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most iconic music concerts.
How does it feel? How does it feel? Take a load off Fanny. Take a load for free.
For this list, we'll be ranking the most influential or otherwise stacked concerts and music festival lineups. Did we miss any iconic moments in live music? Sound off in the comments with a memorable concert moment of your own. Number 10, the US Festival, September 3rd to 5th, 1982. Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak didn't just focus his energies on computers, as evidenced by his involvement bringing this 3-day music festival to San Bernardino, California in 1982.
Stand back. In the middle of my room, I did not get up from you.
The US Festival was presented in part as a reaction to what Wozniak saw as a period of self-obsession during the 1970s.
It's the end of the 70s. It's the end of the century.
The lineup for the inaugural edition was brought together with the idea of promoting community activism and international relations during the Cold War, and featured bands as diverse as the Ramones, Pat Benatar, Fleetwood Mac, Eddie Money, and the Grateful Dead. The US Festival was a success despite reports of violence and drug overdoses among some audience members, with a sequel featuring genre-themed days of new wave, heavy metal, rock, and country being booked a year later.
I look forward to the rest of the 80s.
Number 9, Johnny Cash at San Quentin, February 4th, 1969. Call this next concert one that you'd love to see, just not under the same circumstances. That's because the audience in question for Johnny Cash on this record just happened to be prisoners at San Quentin Penitentiary.
San Quentin, I hate every inch of you.
The country icon was no stranger to performing in front of an incarcerated audience, as evidenced by Cash's other hit live album, At Folsom Prison, and the energy the prisoners give back to Cash is palpable. Songs like A Boy Named Sue, I Walk the Line, and Folsom Prison Blues feed off the give and take between the audience and the performer, just like good live albums should, while the track San Quentin is actually performed twice at the crowd's request. Oh, to be a fly on the wall at this gig.
I'd like to say a special hello to all the men here at the prison that are not with us tonight, that they couldn't find a key to the door or something. They couldn't let a bunch of them out here. I wish every one of you could have been out here with us, all you guys. I understand they're piping the show in to you.
Number 8. James Brown Saves Boston, April 4th, 1968. The week following Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination was marked by historic riots and unrest in major cities such as Chicago and Washington, D.C. Boston was another major hub marked by civil unrest, yet this powder keg of potential violence was quelled by the godfather of soul himself, James Brown.
You got to change your mind.
His show at the Boston Garden was broadcast on a local television station in an attempt to keep people in their homes, while Brown himself got personally involved when fans and police clashed in front of the stage.
Hold up, wait a minute. Let me finish the show. Let me finish the show for everybody else, all right?
The show was not only dynamite from a musical and performance perspective, but its cultural significance as a snapshot of American history cannot be overstated. Number 7. The Concert in Central Park, September 19th, 1981. Benefit shows are usually a great way to promote awareness or raise money for a good cause, but they're even more special when you manage to reunite a major recording artist for the event.
When my words like silent raindrops fell.
The concert in Central Park did just that with Simon and Garfunkel, who were booked to play a set of hits from their solo careers, as well as their iconic 1960s collaboration.
La la la, la 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 la.
The performance did not disappoint either, despite the pair's old tensions rising almost from the get-go. Sometimes the most combustible relationships can create some truly affecting music, as evidenced by Art Garfunkel's definitive delivery of Bridge Over Troubled Water or Paul Simon's reworking of the classic Kodachrome for a live rock audience.
A sunny day, oh yeah, I got an icon camera.
It's pure performance magic. Number 6. Freddie Mercury Tribute Show, April 20th, 1992. The void left by Freddie Mercury's death in 1991 was immense for fans of rock icon's Queen.
Life had just begun.
However, this tribute show held a year later did a great job at promoting AIDS awareness during a time where a lot of misinformation still existed in the public consciousness. The lineup boasted an impressive mix of acts who offered up musical tribute to Queen's work, including Metallica and Def Leppard, while Queen themselves headlined with a virtual who's who of guest vocalists. Axl Rose, Elton John, Robert Plant, Seal, Annie Lennox, George Michael, and more all joined the band for a set that not only paid respect to Queen's music, but to Mercury's legacy as rock's undisputed master showman. Number 5. Altamonte Speedway Free Festival, December 6th, 1969.
Hey man, I'd like to mention that the Hells Angels just smashed Marty Ballin in the face and knocked him out for a bit. I'd like to thank you for that.
Sometimes an iconic part of the rock festival experience, for better or worse, is an element of danger, that frightening thrill of what could go wrong. Well, everything seemed to go wrong for the Altamonte Speedway Free Festival in 1969, a perfect storm of events that made the concert a turning point in American pop culture.
You're talking to me, I'm gonna talk to you.
I'm not talking to you, man. I'm talking to the people that hit my lead singer in the
You're
head.
talking to my people.
Many point to the show's haphazard organization and violent clashes between audience members and Hells Angels security as the unofficial death of the 60s hippie ideal. One member of the crowd, Meredith Hunter, was even attacked by Hells Angel Alan Pissarro after drawing a gun during the headlining set by the Rolling Stones.
There's so many of you. Just be cool down the front and don't push around.
The incident was caught on camera and released as part of the Stones documentary Gimme Shelter.
We're splitting, man, if those cats don't stop beating everybody up inside. I want them out of the way, man. I don't like unity.
That guy's got a gun out there and he's shooting at the stage.
Number 4. The Monterey Pop Festival, June 16th to 18th, 1967. Speaking of the hippie ideal, a comparatively more optimistic tone is struck by the next festival on our list, a 3-day precursor to another famous rock concert we'll be getting to later. Monterey Pop was a hub where both fans and artists alike were exposed to exciting new musical voices, often for the very first time. Groups as diverse as the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Otis Redding, Ravi Shankar, Jefferson Airplane, and Laura Nyro all brought their folk, soul, and psychedelic rock to a receptive audience, while Janis Joplin's performance of Ball and Chain went on to become the stuff of legend. If you're looking for a true document of the peace, love, and music era of the 1960s, this is a great place to start. Number 3. Live Aid, July 13th, 1985. It doesn't matter whether or not you view large-scale fundraising festivals as a vehicle for social change or an excuse to get out there and rock, no one could ignore Live Aid back in 1985.
All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Boo, Radio Gaga.
The festival's lineup was just too damn impressive, with performances from Queen, U2, and David Bowie being simulcast all over the world. Sure, there was that impromptu Led Zeppelin reunion with Genesis drummer Phil Collins sitting in that's become somewhat, let's say, infamous. Still, there's no denying that Live Aid wasn't just a rock concert. It was a moment in time when Bob Geldof's global jukebox for Ethiopian famine relief made just about everyone sit up and take notice. Number 2. Woodstock, August 15th to 18th, 1969. It's the de facto example of an outdoor rock festival. The first thing that comes to the mind of many when they think of the 60s, hippies, and psychedelic rock. Woodstock went beyond a mere 3 days of peace, love, and music. It became a definitive statement for a generation. A group of young people who were excited to break away from the traditions of old and blaze a trail for personal freedoms for music, sexuality, and community. And they couldn't have asked for a better soundtrack, with performances from Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Jimi Hendrix, Santana, and Joe Cocker setting the stage for what would become one of the most famous concert experiences of all time. Before we name our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Pink Floyd The Wall Tour, conceptual prog rock at its most grandiose. Elvis Presley's '68 comeback special. The King can still kill it.
I used to smoke, drink, and dance a hoochie coo. I used to smoke and drink and dance a hoochie coo.
Led Zeppelin's first American tour, infamous for the debauchery as well as the music.
Led Zeppelin showed up, did an opening set that reportedly wowed the crowd and set them on their path to stardom.
Monsters of Rock 1991. Heavy metal goes behind the Iron Curtain. Michael Jackson's Bad Tour. The King of Pop dominates worldwide.
Want more Mojo? Sound Mojo brings you music from new and emerging artists in all genres from across the globe. From interviews to live shows and deep dives into music culture, Sound Mojo has you covered. Be sure to check out Sound Mojo to find your new favorite artists.
A brave new world. No sexy baby. Solo mucho lipstick.
Number 1. Beatlemania at Shea Stadium, August 15th, 1965.
Here are the Beatles!
Beatlemania was officially here to stay during this landmark concert at Shea Stadium. The band were on their second American tour and capitalizing on the momentum afforded to them by their iconic performance on The Ed Sullivan Show.
She's a woman. She's a woman.
This show was a landmark for the British invasion's influence on American culture, and the excitement present here by the throngs of screaming fans is feverish to the point of madness. Sure, the Beatles hadn't yet begun their experiments into psychedelic and progressive recordings, but it didn't matter. Songs like Can't Buy Me Love, A Hard Day's Night, and Ticket to Ride might as well have been throbbing tribal dances for the rapturous Beatle faithful. In this case, the old adage remains true. You just had to be there. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.